G'day guys, Smith City here for Smith City Product Reviews. Well, I'm back with a cheeky extra. This can has been in the fridge since Christmas. It was part of my Christmas presents that I got from my cousin Chris. And we had Christmas Day lunch there. And I got 2 6-packs of this and also Stomping Ground pale ale. So this one's been in there for a while in the fridge. I did enjoy some over Christmas, and I'll get this into a glass and I'll review it for you guys. So White Rabbit Sour Red, I'm fairly sure these guys used to be in Hisville, and now they're brewed part of the Lion Group in Swanston Street, Geelong. So there's the can. Get it open and I'll talk to you about it. Now, I do like this straight away, so, and I'll tell you why I like it. Straight from the pour, you get this really sort of earthy oakiness to the beer. Obviously, it's got zero head. I could have poured it a little bit more vigorously, but it's got no head there. I have poured it a little bit, probably too high for my liking to be able to do the review. But as you can see, carbonation bubbles are going. I'll have a bit of a sniff for you guys on the aroma. So yeah, you do get that sort of the oakiness happening, which is really nice. And obviously I do beer reviews, but I do love a good whiskey or a good scotch with more sort of oaky elements to those. So like your smoky, oaky type elements to the scotches and whiskies. Because it's a sour, you can smell some of that sourness, but it's like a more tartness than a sourness, probably from cherries. And obviously I reviewed that Rottenbach beer, which was a Belgium red ale, and that also was quite heavily on the cherry component. So that's how some of these styles are brewed, and this is what some of these styles of beers flavor profiles are like. So I'll get stuck in and let you know my thoughts. It is really good. It is fantastic. Obviously I have had a few sour beers that are just like, oh, and they make you have to adjust your palate before you can start to enjoy them. But like I said, that sourness is more tartness from cherries. But then because it finishes with like an oaky finish, it sort of almost stops that sourness or tartness in its tracks. It is a really well balanced beer by White Rabbit. Really, really well balanced beer. So yep, I like the can. They do a fair few other beers. It's 4.9% fermentation with imagination in a 355ml can, 1.4 standard drinks. Excuse me. If any of you guys are listening and you like this style of beer, please comment on some ones that you like or some ones that you don't like. And hopefully over a period of time, I can review these ones for you. Bit of a cross promotion. Obviously, I've just got my address taken away, but I've got my Laughing Pug Coffee Company, which I'm going to review tomorrow at some stage. So this one will come up first, and then this one will get reviewed tomorrow and come up on Thursday. But I'm looking forward to that. So basically what that is, briefly, so you know what to expect in the video, is that it's coffee in like a filter bag, and you open it up and it goes over your mug. And you put the water in, and it's basically like a drippolator machine, but a portable one, and it's probably quicker and easier to do. So it'll just be interesting to see what the coffee quality is like, and I'm looking forward to getting stuck into that for you guys. So we are letting nature take its course in defining this beer. Spontaneous wild fermentation in oak barrels over a period of wild fermentation in oak barrels over an extended period of time. Sublimely blended with a young beer to bring harmony and diversity to your palate through tart cherry and red wine-like complexities. So yeah, that oakiness finish is sort of like reminiscent of like an oaky, or it's not exactly like an earthy oaky Merlot or something like that, but characteristics. So like, I don't want you to blur the lines there, if that makes sense. But also, if you're on this channel, whether it be now or in 2031, and you are a red wine drinker, and you're not much of a beer liker, this one might be for you. Alright, so I'm going to give drinkability. And sometimes drinkability with sour beers can be hit and miss, because they can either be too full on in sourness, and it's something that you probably don't want to drink lots of, or sometimes with some sour beers, the alcohol percentage, I know with some companies, they're quite high in alcohol content, and so they can be quite a nice like one-off experience, but in terms of drinking more of them, sometimes it just isn't the case. But with this, because of the oaky finish, and it's more tart than sour, this is something that you can drink some of, and I did exactly that at Christmas time in Portland. Where I think one day I had two, and then another day I had two, and then another day I had one, and then I brought one back with me. So, drinkability is quite good. Rating, I'm going to give it a 9. I really do like it. It's very interesting, because obviously with some beers that you've never tasted before, and they are really good, it can almost sway your judgment to give something a 10. And so I'm just trying to think, would I have given it a 10 if I had reviewed it the first time I had it? Probably not, because you're not sitting there analysing it like intrinsically. You're just sitting there actually just enjoying it. but also because I've had it more than once. A 9 now is probably better than a 9 of something that I've reviewed once. And I'll tell you why, because sometimes with drinking, this happened to me the other week, is I bought some Hargrave Hills extra bitters, extra special bitters. Now, rewind probably back, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I had my first experience on them, and I really, really, really loved them, like absolutely loved them. And then I had them again a couple of weeks ago. I just bought a 4-pack, and I had 2 one night, and then like one night and one another night. And it wasn't as good as the first time. Now, it's not really a quality control issue. It's not really that it's changed at all. It's just sometimes your palate, or sometimes what you're drinking and when you're drinking and how you're drinking can really change the mood and the vibe of you drinking. If any of that happens with you guys drinking alcohol, I'd love to hear from you guys, because am I the only one where that happens? With that happens too, or do other people experience that? Which would be quite interesting, because in my beer cartel pack, I did get a secondary beer. Well, not a secondary beer, but a beer that I've already reviewed in another subscription service. It'll be interesting to see. I won't watch that, the one that I did. I won't watch it. I'll just review it again, and I'll see if the rating is any different to what I did the first time. But yeah, just let me know if you have those experiences where you've tried something and it's really good, and then you try it again, and just through time, maybe the weather, maybe what you're doing, maybe your taste buds aren't firing all cylinders, maybe you're fatigued, whatever the case may be, it might change the experience for you. Or vice versa. You might hate a drink for whatever reason, and then, by chance you try it again and you actually like it, because that has happened to me a few times. And that's where sort of you got to give things multiple goes. Like with anything in life, you got to give things multiple goes, because without it, you're just going from a very narrow-minded place. And so I obviously have given one beer a bad review on here. I'd like to review it again, just to see if it was, one, maybe it was a bad batch, or two, I just didn't like it on the particular night that I was reviewing it. But yeah, that stuff fascinates me, guys. So yeah, if that stuff happens to you, comment it, because I'd love to hear from you guys, and I'm pretty good with keeping up with replies from questions and stuff from people watching. So awesome stuff, guys. Stay tuned for the coffee one. We are up to 54 subscribers now, so only 6 more, and we're on our way to doing the Wild Boar Challenge. And yeah, I love you and leave you. Cheers, guys.